Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, there are some big developments, at least coming out in the Nancy Guthrie case. The second ransom note that some believe is credible is coming out. And just a few hours ago, Savannah Guthrie went out and put another big public plea for anybody with information to come forward that she would like to know what has happened to her mother. I can't believe it was February 1st when her mother went missing.
Let our listeners know. The second ransom note originally was not taken as credible?
Well, not taken as credible, at least not publicly. It just came out. The first one said, we took her and here's how much we would like. And it was about the cryptocurrency. The second one, John, that came out a couple days later, now is being made public. And apparently the family always sort of thought this was credible. And this one doesn't ask for money and says essentially that she died after being abducted. And they're not asking for money, so it's troubling. And if you remember the videos,
why do they call it a ransom note?
So yeah, they're just using the phrase ransom note. To your point, it's not necessarily, but that's how they're referring to it. But who better than James Gagliano, former special agent there, supervisory with the FBI,
the mayor,
and he also was out there on the scene too. Let's not forget he was out there. James Gagliano, what do you make of all this? And today, obviously, Savannah Guthrie sort of reaffirmed it, that they believe that there's something to maybe this. And she said, look, anybody who has information, I am begging you to come forward. It was so heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, Rita and everybody, great to join you guys as always. This story has befuddled law enforcement for going on 5 months now. Remember, Nancy Guthrie disappeared the night of January 31st. So we're going up on 5 months. In regards to the notes that have been sent, and obviously they've gone to a couple of local stations out there in Tucson, as well as the TMZ. None of them going directly to law enforcement. And I think from what I hear through channels is the vast majority of them are opportunists, awful people that are looking to prey upon a family that is just devastated by an 84-year-old woman being basically spirited out of her house. They know she was injured. There were blood stains on the front porch. And now going on 5 months, this is a woman that needed medication. Just an awful, awful, awful story. And I'll close with this. 3 things usually happen when it comes to kidnappings. 2 of them are good and 1 is bad. The first 2 are a release, where the captors release the captive, a rescue. And I was on the FBI's hostage rescue team. It's something that we did and had great success with. And lastly, where I think we are now, guys, where it is essentially a recovery, where they are looking to find probably her remains.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the family believes that too, based on like even the video that they put out. And then her comments today seemed like she said, we'd like to still celebrate our mother. I mean, the verbiage definitely changed. You know what's shocking to me, James? And we talked about this. First of all, that sheriff over there, remember, he had the crime scene wide open, and then the FBI finally came in, but he seemed to be battling with the FBI. He should have been saying, please, I'll take whatever help I can. He seemed to be a bit territorial. So were there moments missed? Because it's shocking to me that there's not more leads.
Yeah, this is, the sheriff himself, Sheriff Nanos, about 10 years ago, was being investigated by the FBI and the Department of Justice out there in Tucson. It was related to civil asset forfeitures, that there was some misappropriated funds. He was never indicted, but one of his colleagues was, and that individual ended up taking his own life prior to going to jail. So I believe, and from what I heard on the ground while I was out there, there is a particular animus. And I'll just give you a couple of quick points. Why was the evidence, the DNA evidence and the biological evidence, shipped off to a lab in Florida, 2,000 miles away, instead of going straight to the FBI laboratory? It is unforgivable and unconscionable. As we all know, you've got smart listeners, DNA is such a tiny trace amounts. And once you test it or dilute it, then it becomes more and more difficult to run tests on that. Whatever's being given to the FBI has already been run through a Florida private lab, and I'm not casting aspersions on them, but you had the best laboratory facility, not in the country, in the world at Quantico, and it wasn't sent there. It's unconscionable.
And James, they had a pizza guy. You may have been out there at that point because you were out there for a while, but they had a pizza guy who was delivering pizza and walks right up to the front door. It was like a day or two right after, so they didn't even have the crime scene blocked off.
Yeah, they didn't shut the crime scene down or keep it shut down. I think after a couple of days, and then they had to go back and reclose it, reseal it again. And you know as well as I do, once a crime scene has been opened up to the public, now you're dealing with other DNA, other trace evidence, other biological evidence that's going to make this much, much, much more difficult to solve. And lastly, the proximity to the Mexican border. I worked in Mexico City for 2 years with the FBI. I know that country quite well. That area, which is about 60 miles south of Tucson, a place called Nogales, is a place that you wouldn't go to at night. It's a place that's run by the Sinaloa cartels. And I'm not suggesting that we have any details yet that this was cartel related, but I'm sure it's something that's being investigated.
Yeah, James, stay on it. We are so grateful, and we're just praying for some information for the Guthrie family. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And,
Thank you, James.
Keep fighting for America.